welcome back to the Red Booth Show. I'm here with writer Jake Marley.
Hi.
Hi, so you were telling me the story about how you got started. You were hanging out in the library.
Hanging at the library, reading books, and when I was about 18, I found out that writers are like people who actually the stories come out of their heads and they put them in typewriters or in computers and they submit them to books. And when I found out that was like a job, I was like, oh, that's what I want to do with my life. But you know, I'm too responsible to just like throw caution to the wind and do that. So I had a real job and I got married and my wife helped support me with my writing thing, and she kind of edits all my stories for me. And
wow,
yeah, she's a very clever person. But I think
you chose well.
I chose well, yes. And when I finally, 20 years then went by, and I lived a lot more life, and I got better at writing, and I got more confident, and but it was really close to me going, I think I've put enough time into this hobby. Let's see what happens. But now I'm a writer. I'm so excited. A published author. Yeah, never give up. Absolutely, perseverance is my thing.
So in those 20 years, do you have other stories that you've got sort of sitting around?
The problem with when you become a published writers, you want everything to be as good as what you've published before and not better, and you want to keep growing. And so going through the old stories, I go, I could see what I wanted to do here, but now I have to tweak it a little bit. And it's been really exciting to and what I learned in the workshop.
Yeah, that must have been really helpful, right?
It jumped me up several levels. So I feel like I'm a much better.
Can anybody go to these workshops?
No, you have to win the contest. I know you have to win. So, but you can submit every 3 months, which is exciting because it means you get better at writing because you're writing 4 stories a year minimum. So I think that's something I've been encouraging a lot of people this year. Every time I meet new people who are creative, want to be writers, and they don't get that opportunity. This is a big deal to me. So I'd like
great.
To share it.
Yeah, it's a great thing because there's just not a lot of ways into this industry.
Right. I mean, if you go a professional route, you find a different publisher, you find an editor that you connect with. That's a wonderful thing. But a lot of people don't, and they don't know if they have any merit. They don't know, if what they're doing is any good. And this is an exciting.
And someone else could tell them it's not good, and then they think, not good. But really, that's just that person's.
That's a person's opinion.
That's one person's opinion.
You just have to connect with the right editor. And luckily, I connected with David Farland, and he sent it to the judges, and I connected with them, and it's changed my whole life. So I'm a big advocate for it.
That's so cool. Well, good. So are you going to go back and maybe release some of your other stories?
No, I work on new things. I look forward. So I might steal little bits and pieces of old stories that I just fell in love with or dreamed up years ago. But I feel like what I learned in the workshop changed me so much that going back would not help. Going forward is the way to go. And creating new worlds and dreaming up new stories is absolutely what I do. So I'm having a great time.
That's so cool. I just have to say, I want to mention your day job if that's okay.
Sure, yeah. Uh-huh.
So he works at LAX.
Yes, I am a logistics dispatcher, which means I tell people, go around to the different cargos and things and pick things up.
So you make sure that everybody gets like all the things from the airplanes and so.
And I work nights, and so so it's an interesting job because the world is totally different at night than it is during the day. People are exhausted, but they're also more exuberant sometimes. And you can witness all these different walks of life, and it's exciting to me as a storyteller, as somebody who likes to imagine that the world might contain something a little bit more magical or mysterious. It's a lot easier to do at night than it is during the day.
Yeah, I've heard that a lot. A lot of people feel more inspired at nighttime when they're writing even music and things like that.
Yeah, and my job is luckily pretty autonomous after doing it for so long that my back brain can work on whatever novel or short stories I'm working on right now. It's kind of, I can make notes on my lunch break.
That's super cool. Well, also, I think it's fun being at the airport because you get to see so many different people.
Yes, absolutely.
And it's got to be a little bit inspiring for stories,
Sure,
right?
Yeah. There's characters everywhere. There's people who come off a plane and I'm the kind of person who I could be sitting in traffic and wonder what the person in the car next to me is doing. They could come up with a whole story about their little lives. But anybody comes off an airport,
He's such a writer.
I'm such a writer.
He's such a writer.
I know, but it's the curiosity is, I think, a key element to being a writer.
Imagination,
empathy, things you have to understand how other people live, and that's literacy is a big part of people being empathetic. You know, you experience other lives, other journeys. You know, and I think that seeing people who are already on a journey coming to an airport, whether you're coming home or coming to LA for the first time, you know, there's always a certain perspective that if you can put yourself in there, you can imagine what their lives are like, and you're probably way wrong, but that's okay. You know, I make stuff up. I make it up. That's what writers do when you do fiction.
That's right. You're creating a whole new world when you
Yes.
do that. Wow, that's so cool. Well, so you have been doing this for so long, and you're talking to other people, and you tell them, I think that they should go and submit for the Writers of the Future.
Sure.
What do you like? How do you do that? What's
The pitch I always give people is if they have short stories, and if it's anything genre, fantasy or science fiction or horror, something speculative, something that takes the world and looks at it from a different angle. You know, you don't want to submit a story about somebody making toast unless that person is living on the moon or something, you know?
Toast on the Moon?
Toast
That'll
on
be the next
book. But I think that, you know, if you have a speculative element, if you're somebody who reads science fiction, fantasy, you watch Game of Thrones on TV and you go, I could write a story like that. They welcome stories up to 16,000 words, which is a lot. Like, those are pretty hefty stories. And I think that anybody who wants to be a writer, if you haven't been published yet, this is the way to start. You just start submitting, and like I said, the worst case scenario is you sell your stories to other markets, other magazines or publications or whatever, and you pro out. You become a professional. And those are two ways to go. But if you win the contest, there's all sorts of cool extras you get. You know, you get paid for your story, you get published, you get the cool piece of art, you get the workshop.
That's right. You get paid too. It's
You get
super cool.
paid for your story.
Yes. Cha-ching.
Pro rates. But I think that's exciting. Yeah.
It is very exciting. I'm so sorry, but we have to take another break.
That's great.
We'll be right back with writer Jake Marley. Hi, thanks for watching The Red Booth Show. You can keep watching our interview by clicking on the next segment here. And also, follow our channel by subscribing below. And don't forget to like our videos. Thanks for watching.